Imaging finding a rare coin so rare it could pay off your house today, we're diving into 10 of the most valuable US coins ever found. Real coins worth hundreds and even millions of dollars or more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next rare find. Let's start this.
What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a simple 1-cent coin, could be the spark that changes your financial future? Not a lottery ticket. Not a risky investment. Just a small copper coin quietly resting in a jar, a drawer, or maybe even your pocket right now. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that many Americans overlook, but serious collectors watch like hawks. Take a moment and imagine this. You're sorting through old coins on a quiet evening. Maybe they belong to your parents. Maybe they've been sitting in a coffee can for decades. And then you spot it, 1967. No mint mark. Could that tiny detail be the difference between 1 cent and thousands of dollars? That's not fantasy. That's the power of knowledge in the coin world. Let's step back into history. In 1967, the United States Mint made a bold decision. To discourage coin hoarding during a national coin shortage, mint marks were temporarily removed from circulating coins. That means every 1967 Lincoln cent was struck without a mint mark. These coins were produced at the main facility of the United States Mint, and they carried the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because there was no mint mark in 1967, many people assume these coins are common and worthless. And that's exactly why opportunity hides in plain sight. The real value isn't in the missing mint mark itself. The real money lies in condition, rarity within grade, and most importantly, rare era varieties. Are you holding a perfectly preserved 1967 penny with blazing red luster? Or could you have a rare double die? A dramatic off-center strike? A clipped planchet? What if that ordinary-looking coin is actually an extraordinary mint error? Let me ask you something directly. When was the last time you truly examined your pocket change? Not glanced at it. Examined it. Under magnification. With curiosity. With intention. Could you be overlooking a hidden asset because you never asked the right questions? Here's the truth. High-grade 1967 Lincoln cents, especially those graded MS-66 red or higher by professional grading services, have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auction. And spectacular error coins, major double dies or bold off-center strikes, can command even stronger prices. In today's market, top condition or dramatic error examples have reached into the several $1,000s range, with the maximum auction results climbing significantly higher when appeal and rarity combine perfectly, and demand. It's real. Collectors between 30 and 65 years old are aggressively building registry sets. They are competing for the finest known examples. Auction houses see bidding wars ignite over coins that most people would have spent at a gas station, but here's the emotional trigger most people ignore: fear of missing out. Every year, valuable coins are spent accidentally. Every year, rare errors are dropped into Coinstar machines. Every year, someone unknowingly cashes in a potential treasure for face value. Don't let that be your story. Pause for a second. If a penny can sell for thousands, what else might be hiding in your home? In your parents' estate? In that old piggy bank? From pocket change to millions, is that just a catchy phrase, or is it a mindset shift waiting to happen? Now let's talk strategy. How do you sell old rare coins in the USA? How do you make money from coins the right way? How do you move from curiosity to profit? First, knowledge protects you. Before selling, understand condition and grading. A coin's value can multiply dramatically between mint state grades. One tiny scratch can mean the difference between a few dollars and a four-figure result. That's why serious sellers often submit coins to respected third-party grading companies. Authentication builds buyer confidence. Confidence builds competition. Competition builds price. Second, where do you sell? Auction houses are powerful when your coin is rare or high grade. They connect you to national and international buyers. Local coin shops can provide immediate liquidity. Online marketplaces open access to a massive audience. But here's the question, are you selling to the right buyer? Or are you accepting the first offer because it feels easy? Imagine walking into an auction room. The bidding starts. Two collectors want your coin. The price climbs. Your heart pounds. That 1 cent piece is no longer small. It's leverage. It's opportunity. It's proof that knowledge creates wealth, and here's a humorous reality check. If you're still tossing pennies into a jar labeled miscellaneous, we need to have a serious talk. That jar might be holding more potential than your savings account. Let's connect the dots. The 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny represents more than metal. It represents awareness. It represents the discipline to check, verify, and act. It represents the shift from consumer to collector, from spender to investor. You might be wondering, can I really make serious money from coins? Is this realistic? The answer is yes, when you focus on quality, rarity, and demand. The coin market is fueled by passion and competition. High-grade examples are finite. Error coins are accidental by nature. They cannot be reproduced. Scarcity drives value, but urgency matters. The longer you wait to evaluate your coins, the longer potential value sits idle. Markets fluctuate. Demand surges. Registry competition increases. When a new wave of collectors enters the market, prices can rise quickly. So ask yourself right now. Do you know what your 1967 pennies are worth? Have you checked for doubling in the date or lettering? Have you examined the surfaces for pristine red brilliance? Have you considered professional grading? Have you explored auction results for comparable examples? How do you sell old and rare coins in the USA and get maximum value in an auction shop? You prepare. You research. You compare realized prices. You understand buyer psychology. And you present your coin in the strongest possible way, graded, authenticated, and marketed to the right audience. Act 1 was awareness. A simple penny hiding potential. Act 2 was discovery. Understanding errors, condition, and market demand. Now we enter Act 3, action. This is where your story changes. You gather your coins. You inspect them carefully. You separate the ordinary from the exceptional. You consult professionals if needed. You list strategically or consign to auction. And when the bids start rising, you realize something powerful. You took control, from pocket change to financial opportunity. From overlooked copper to competitive bidding. From uncertainty to clarity. The 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is not just a coin. It is a reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight. It challenges you to look closer, think smarter, and act faster. The market rewards those who pay attention. So tonight, before you scroll past another video, before you assume your change is worthless, ask yourself one final question. What if the next penny you examine is the one that changes everything? Imagine reaching into a forgotten jar of coins in your kitchen cabinet, your fingers brushing against an ordinary-looking penny, dated 1942. You almost toss it aside. It's just a cent, right? But what if that single copper coin could be the doorway to a 5-figure payday? What if history, war, and a rare minting mistake combined to turn one humble cent into a collector's prize worth serious money? Tonight, we're diving deep into the United States 1942 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin struck during one of the most dramatic years in American history. A coin born in the shadow of World War II. And a coin that, under the right conditions and with the right error, can command astonishing prices in today's red-hot collector market. Before you click away, let me ask you something. How many old pennies are sitting in your home right now? In drawers, jars, piggy banks, inherited boxes from grandparents? How many times have you ignored them? And what if one of them is the key to turning pocket change into thousands, maybe more? The year 1942 was pivotal. America had just entered World War II. Copper was becoming critical for ammunition and military equipment. The United States Mint was preparing to change the composition of the penny in 1943 to steel. But in 1942, the Lincoln cent was still struck in its classic bronze composition. On the obverse, you see the dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, the familiar wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. A simple design. A powerful legacy. Now here's where it gets interesting. The 1942 Lincoln cent was struck at multiple mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark. That's right. No letter under the date. Just 1942. And while millions were minted, certain examples with rare errors or exceptional condition have become highly desirable among collectors. Let's talk about the real treasure, errors. Because ordinary coins are common, errors are rare. And rarity drives value. Have you ever heard of a double die? Imagine the design being stamped twice, slightly misaligned, creating a visible doubling on the date or lettering. On some 1942 no mint mark pennies, strong doubling can be seen on the word Liberty or the date itself. To the untrained eye, it might look like a blur. To a collector, it can look like dollar signs. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin design is dramatically shifted, leaving part of the blank planchet visible. There are die cracks, repunched mint marks on other varieties, and even transitional errors connected to the wartime metal changes. Each of these mistakes tells a story. And each mistake increases demand. Now pause for a second. If mistakes increase value in coins, why do we fear mistakes in life? Funny how that works, isn't it? Back to the coin. Condition is king. In the coin world, grading can mean the difference between a few cents and thousands of dollars. A heavily circulated 1942 no mint mark penny may only be worth a small premium over face value. But an uncirculated example, with blazing red luster and sharp details, graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, can command impressive prices at auction. Collectors compete fiercely for top-grade coins. Why? Because the supply of pristine examples from 1942 is shrinking. Every year, more coins are lost, damaged, or permanently locked away in private collections. Scarcity increases. Demand remains strong. Prices respond accordingly, and when you combine high grade with a strong error, that's when the numbers become exciting. 5 figures is not fantasy. It has happened. Auction houses across the United States have seen intense bidding wars over rare varieties and top-condition pieces. Let me ask you directly. Are you checking your coins carefully? Or are you assuming they're worthless? Because here's the truth. Most people never look. They never learn. They never act. And because they never act, they never profit. So how do you sell old and rare coins in the USA? How do you turn that 1942 no mint mark penny into real money? First, knowledge is power. Identify what you have. Examine the date, the mint mark or absence of one, and look closely for doubling or unusual features. Use magnification. Study the details. Compare your coin with verified examples. Second, authentication builds trust. Professional grading services provide certification, assigning a grade and sealing the coin in a protective holder. This increases buyer confidence dramatically. Serious collectors and investors prefer certified coins. Third, choose your selling platform wisely. Auction houses are powerful venues for rare coins because competitive bidding can drive prices upward. Coin shops offer quick transactions and immediate payment. Online marketplaces provide broad exposure. Each path has advantages. The key is understanding your coin's true market value before making a move. Have you ever wondered why some people walk into an auction with a small coin and walk out with a life-changing check? It's not luck. It's preparation meeting opportunity. The coin market today remains highly active. Collectors in the 30 to 65 age range are increasingly investing in tangible assets. Why? Because coins are portable wealth. They are historical artifacts. They are finite. And unlike digital numbers on a screen, you can hold them in your hand. Think about this. During economic uncertainty, tangible collectibles often attract attention. Rare coins have a proven track record of demand. The 1942 Lincoln cent, especially in rare error form or exceptional condition, sits at the crossroads of history and scarcity. That combination fuels interest. Now let's connect this to something bigger. Many of you watching want more than just extra cash. You want financial freedom. You want security. You want the lifestyle that comes from smart decisions, from pocket change to millions. That phrase sounds dramatic. But every fortune starts somewhere. Sometimes it starts with awareness. Sometimes it starts with one coin. Are you willing to search your collection? Are you willing to visit that old family box of coins in the attic? Are you willing to ask your parents or grandparents if they saved pennies from the 1940s? Because hidden wealth often sits quietly, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. And let's be honest for a moment. If a single penny could be worth thousands under the right circumstances, wouldn't you want to know before spending it at a gas station? Humor me here. Imagine buying a cup of coffee with a rare error coin worth 5 figures. That's one expensive latte. The urgency is real. The market moves. Opportunities shift. As more people learn about valuable varieties, competition increases. The earlier you identify and position your coin correctly, the stronger your advantage. Selling coins successfully requires confidence. Confidence comes from information. Research recent auction results. Study comparable sales. Understand grading scales. The more informed you are, the stronger your negotiating power, and remember, presentation matters. A clean, properly stored coin protected from further damage retains value. Never clean a coin aggressively. Cleaning can reduce value dramatically. Preserve originality. Collectors prize natural surfaces. So here we are. A simple 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln cent born in wartime America. Possibly struck with a minting error. Potentially preserved in remarkable condition. And today, possibly worth far more than 1 cent. The story comes full circle. In Act 1, we discovered an ordinary coin hiding extraordinary potential. In Act 2, we uncovered the rare errors and the power of condition that transform it into a collector's dream. And now in Act 3, the resolution is in your hands. What will you do next? Will you ignore the jar of coins on your shelf? Or will you examine each piece with fresh eyes? Will you learn how to sell old and rare coins strategically? Will you explore auction shops across the United States to understand real market value? Will you take the first step toward turning forgotten copper into financial opportunity? What if I told you that one small copper coin from the United States Mint could be worth far more than 1 cent, and in rare cases, worth thousands upon thousands of dollars in today's market? Would you look at your pocket change differently? Would you start searching tonight? This is not fantasy. This is the quiet power of knowledge. And today, we're diving deep into the 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny, a coin that has quietly moved from everyday circulation into serious collector demand. If you are between 30 and 65, if you've ever wondered how to sell old rare coins, how to make money from coins, or how to turn pocket change into serious wealth, this story is for you. Act 1 begins in post-war America. The year 1951. The country was rebuilding, families were growing, industry was booming. The Lincoln wheat penny was still in circulation, featuring the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse. A symbol of stability. A symbol of growth. Most 1951 pennies were struck in Philadelphia, and here's what makes it interesting: Philadelphia coins at that time carried no mint mark. That's right. No letter under the date. Just 1951. Clean. Simple. Powerful. Now pause for a moment. Have you ever ignored a coin because it looked too ordinary? Have you ever thought, if it were valuable, I would already know? That assumption alone has cost people fortunes. The 1951 no-mint mark penny had a mintage in the hundreds of millions. On the surface, that sounds common. But here is where Act 2 begins, the twist. Not all coins survive equally. Condition is everything. A heavily worn penny might only be worth a small premium. But an uncirculated 1951 no-mint mark penny, blazing with original red luster, untouched by decades of wear, is a different story. Collectors compete fiercely for high-grade examples certified by top grading services, and then we move into the realm of errors. Because this is where excitement turns into urgency. Off-center strikes. Double die impressions. Die cracks. Struck on wrong planchets. These mint errors transform an ordinary coin into a rarity. And rarity creates demand. Demand creates bidding wars. Bidding wars create life-changing checks. Let me ask you something important. When was the last time you checked the edges of your coins? When was the last time you looked under magnification? What if the coin sitting in your drawer right now has a double date? What if the lettering shows strong separation visible even to the naked eye? Would you recognize it, or would you spend it? The current market for high-grade 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat pennies has shown strong collector interest. Brilliant red uncirculated examples certified at the highest grades can command impressive prices at auction. Error coins in elite condition have crossed into the thousands of dollars depending on rarity and eye appeal. And here's the emotional truth, serious collectors are not slowing down. They are aging into peak wealth years. They are competing for registry quality coins. And supply is not increasing, think about that. No more 1951 pennies will ever be made. The supply is fixed forever. But demand? Demand grows as awareness grows. Now here's a pattern interrupt for you. If pennies were truly worthless, why are billionaires building climate-controlled vaults for them? Sounds funny, doesn't it? But it's true. Rare coin portfolios are real assets. Tangible. Historical. Finite. Act 3 is where this becomes personal. You're not just watching a video about a coin. You're asking bigger questions. How to sell old rare coins in the USA. How to sell coins safely. How to make money from coins without being taken advantage of. How to move from pocket change to millions. First, knowledge protects you. Never clean your coins. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Second, authentication matters. Professional grading from respected services adds credibility and often multiplies value. Third, selling strategy determines your final price. Local coin shops may offer convenience, but major auction platforms often bring competitive bidding that drives prices higher. Have you considered which route fits your goals? Quick cash or maximum return? Imagine consigning a pristine 1951 no-mint mark error penny to a respected auction house. Imagine multiple bidders fighting in the final seconds. Imagine watching the numbers climb. That moment is not luck. It is preparation meeting opportunity, and let's talk urgency. Every year, collections are inherited. Every year, estates liquidate coins below value because families don't know what they have. Will you be the person who learns now, or the person who regrets later? The difference is education and action. The 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny represents something bigger than copper. It represents overlooked opportunity. It represents the idea that wealth can be hidden in plain sight. It represents the power of paying attention. Ask yourself these questions right now. Do I know the value of the coins I already own? Have I searched my change jars? Have I checked old family albums and inherited collections? Have I considered attending coin shows or connecting with reputable dealers? Have I researched recent auction results for high-grade examples? What would it mean for my retirement if one coin brought in thousands? What would it feel like to fund a vacation, pay down debt, or invest using money discovered at home? Here's the connection that ties everything together. In Act 1, we saw the coin as ordinary. In Act 2, we discovered rarity through condition and errors. In Act 3, we realized the true opportunity lies in informed action. The coin did not change. Your awareness did, and awareness creates leverage. The current maximum market values for elite, certified 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat pennies, especially rare era varieties in top condition, can reach into the thousands of dollars at competitive auction. That is not hype. That is collector psychology meeting scarcity. And the market for classic mid-century wheat pennies remains strong among US collectors who appreciate history and quality. So tonight, when this video ends, will you walk past your coin jar? Or will you pour it out on the table? Will you dismiss a small copper coin as nothing, or will you look at it with the curiosity of an investor? What if I told you that a single copper coin, smaller than a quarter and lighter than a paperclip, could quietly be sitting in a jar in your kitchen, and be worth far more than its face value? Not a lottery ticket. Not a risky investment. Just a simple 1964 Lincoln 1-cent penny. The kind most people overlook. The kind people toss into tip jars. The kind that, under the right conditions, can command serious attention in today's collector market. Tonight, we are diving deep into the story, the mystery, and the hidden potential of the Lincoln cent struck in 1964 with the Denver Mint mark. A year of transition. A year of economic pressure. A year when subtle minting errors created coins that today spark bidding wars across America. And if you are between 30 and 65, living in the United States, thinking about how to sell old rare coins, how to make money from coins, how to turn pocket change into something life-changing, this is for you. Picture America in 1964. The nation was shifting. Silver was disappearing from circulating coinage. Collectors were hoarding. Demand was rising. At the United States Mint, production numbers soared as they tried to meet demand. In Denver, coins struck with the small D mint mark rolled off presses at astonishing speed. And whenever production moves fast, mistakes happen. Tiny imperfections. Subtle misalignments. Doubled dies. Off-center strikes. Die cracks. Transitional metal anomalies. Errors that were once ignored are now hunted. Maybe you have a jar of pennies from your parents. Maybe you inherited a collection. Maybe you are wondering right now, how do I sell old and rare coins in the USA and know their value in an auction shop? How do I make sure I'm not leaving thousands of dollars on the table? How do I turn something ordinary into something extraordinary? The 1964 Lincoln cent may look common at first glance. Billions were minted. Yes, billions. So why would anyone pay serious money for one? Because condition is king. Because error coins are royalty. Because scarcity is not about how many were made, it's about how many survived in pristine, untouched, high-grade condition. Imagine holding a 1964 penny with blazing red luster, no wear, razor-sharp details on Lincoln's hair and jawline, bold lettering, and that crisp Denver Mint mark shining under magnification. Now imagine that same coin featuring a dramatic double die error visible to the naked eye. That is not pocket change. That is collector fuel. And here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your possession under magnification? Not glanced. Really looked. What if the coin that could fund your next vacation, or boost your retirement account, is hiding in plain sight? Act 2 begins with awareness. Most people underestimate coins because they don't understand grading. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a scale up to mint state 70. The higher the grade, the more intense the competition among buyers. Auction platforms light up when a rare error in high mint state condition appears. Why? Because collectors crave the best. Investors chase the best. Dealers compete for the best. So how to sell old rare coins the right way? First, you verify authenticity. Second, you assess condition. Third, you understand demand. And demand for high-grade 1964 Lincoln cents with confirmed mint errors remains powerful because serious collectors seek registry-quality pieces. They are building top-ranked sets. They are not looking for average. They want exceptional. And let's pause for a moment. If pennies were truly worthless, would professionals spend thousands of dollars grading them? Would auction houses dedicate entire catalogs to them? Would seasoned investors store them in climate-controlled vaults? Of course not. Now imagine the alternative. Imagine taking a rare coin to a local pawn shop without research. Imagine accepting the first offer. Imagine discovering later it sold at auction for multiples of what you received. That sting. That regret. That is why knowledge is leverage. So how do you avoid that? You educate yourself. You compare recent auction results. You consult reputable coin dealers. You consider major auction houses. You explore online platforms where competitive bidding drives prices upward. You create urgency by presenting a certified, graded coin with documented error characteristics, and let me ask you something bold. What if this is your moment to turn curiosity into capital? What if learning how to sell coins properly becomes a new income stream? What if that jar of pennies becomes the spark that changes how you see opportunity? There is something powerful about small beginnings. A penny represents 1 cent. 1 cent. Yet collectors understand symbolism. The Abraham Lincoln portrait on the coin represents resilience, leadership, and transformation. Fitting, isn't it? Because your financial transformation might start with the same coin bearing his image. Now let's talk about urgency. The coin market moves in cycles. When interest surges, prices surge. When high-grade examples disappear into private collections, supply tightens. When collectors compete, records are broken. Waiting too long can mean missing peak demand. Acting wisely can mean positioning yourself ahead of the curve. Are you asking yourself right now, how do I make money from coins without being an expert? Start by separating your 1964 D pennies. Examine mint marks carefully. Look for doubling in lettering such as Liberty and In God We Trust. Inspect for off-center strikes or unusual die breaks. Preserve condition. Avoid cleaning at all costs. Cleaning destroys value faster than almost anything else, and here is a quick reset for you. If you've ever spent more time choosing a streaming show than checking your coin jar, you are not alone. But maybe tonight, instead of scrolling, you inspect. Instead of assuming, you verify. Instead of dismissing, you discover. As we move toward the final act, connect the dots. A high-grade 1964 D Lincoln cent with a strong, verified mint error, certified by a respected grading authority, presented at the right auction, during strong market demand, can command remarkable attention. Not because it is old. Not because it is copper. But because it is rare in quality and rare in error combination. From pocket change to millions may sound dramatic. Yet every serious collection started with a single coin. Every auction record began with a decision to sell strategically. Every profitable transaction began with knowledge. So I ask you now, how will you approach your coins? Will you overlook them? Or will you evaluate them like hidden assets? Will you wonder about value? Or will you research current market performance? Will you accept average offers? Or will you pursue competitive bidding environments? Imagine this. You are standing in your kitchen late at night. The house is quiet. You empty your pocket onto the counter, and among the loose change is a single copper coin. A simple penny. A 1970 D Lincoln cent. You almost ignore it. But what if that small coin is not just a penny? What if it's a hidden opportunity? What if that tiny piece of metal could be the difference between ordinary living and financial freedom? Tonight, we're talking about the 1970 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent, a coin struck at the Denver Mint, and why collectors across America are hunting for specific errors that can push its value to astonishing levels. This is not hype. This is history, rarity, and demand colliding at exactly the right moment. Let me ask you something. How many times have you walked past opportunity because it looked too small? How many pennies have slipped through your fingers without a second glance? And what if one of them was worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars in today's auction market? In 1970, millions of Lincoln cents were produced. On the surface, they look common. The obverse carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial design that defined an era of American coinage. Most of these coins are worth face value. But here's where the story changes. Here's where Act 1 ends and Act 2 begins, because within those millions, a small number were struck with minting errors. And in the coin world, error equals rarity. Rarity equals demand. And demand equals serious money. One of the most talked about varieties in the 1970 series is the double die phenomenon. While the famous double die is more widely known in Philadelphia issues, certain Denver-struck pieces show strong repunched mint marks and die anomalies that electrify collectors. When you see a bold D mint mark with noticeable repunching, or sharp doubling in the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust, you are no longer holding an ordinary cent. You are holding a conversation piece. A competitive auction asset. Think about this. Collectors don't chase perfection alone. They chase uniqueness. They chase the story behind the metal. And a verified 1970D era coin in high mint state condition can command powerful bids at auction houses across the United States. Now pause for a second. When was the last time you actually examined your pocket change under magnification? Not glanced at it. Examined it. With light. With curiosity. With intention. What if the next coin you inspect changes your financial trajectory? Here's the emotional truth. Many people throw away value every single day because they don't recognize it. They don't ask questions like, how to sell old rare coins? How to make money from coins? How to turn pocket change into millions? They assume wealth only comes from big investments. But sometimes, wealth starts with awareness, and awareness creates urgency. The current market for high-grade error coins remains strong. Auction platforms, certified grading companies, and private collectors are aggressively searching for rare Lincoln cents in pristine condition. Why? Because tangible assets feel powerful in uncertain times. Because history feels stable. Because rare coins are portable wealth. Imagine submitting your 1970D Lincoln cent to a professional grading service. It comes back in a high mint state grade. The surfaces are brilliant. The strike is sharp. The error is confirmed. Suddenly, that penny becomes a headline listing in an online auction. Bidders compete. The price climbs. Excitement builds. Your phone lights up with notifications. Does that sound impossible? Or does it sound like opportunity knocking? Here's where fear enters the story. What if you already had one, and spent it? What if it's sitting in a jar right now, unrecognized? What if someone else knows what you don't and buys it from you for $1, then flips it for hundreds? That is why knowledge is power. That is why education creates leverage. If you're asking, how to sell old and rare coins in the USA and its value in auction shop, the answer begins with authentication. Professional grading through respected services builds trust. Trust builds demand. Demand drives maximum dollar value. Then comes exposure. Major auction platforms connect your coin with national and international buyers who understand rarity. And let's address another question directly. How to make money from coins consistently? The answer is not luck. It is research. It is patience. It is studying mint marks, varieties, strike quality, and condition. It is understanding that a 1970D cent in circulated condition may be modest, but a sharply struck, high-grade example with a clear error becomes a different asset entirely. Now here's a pattern interrupt for you. If pennies were truly worthless, why do billionaires collect them? Why do auction rooms go silent when a rare cent appears on the screen? Why do collectors fight over a coin that says 1 cent on the back? Because value is not printed. It is perceived, and perception in the coin market is backed by data, grading, and historical demand. Act 3 is where everything connects. You started this video curious. Maybe skeptical. Maybe hopeful. Now you realize something powerful. The 1970D Lincoln cent is more than a coin. It represents overlooked potential. It represents the idea that small beginnings can lead to large outcomes. from pocket change to millions is not a fantasy phrase. It is a mindset. It begins with examining what others ignore. It grows with learning how to sell coins strategically instead of impulsively. It strengthens when you choose auction platforms that maximize visibility rather than settling for quick cash offers. Ask yourself right now. Do you know the difference between selling to a pawn shop and presenting a certified coin in a competitive auction? Do you know how condition multiplies value? Do you know that demand surges when collectors compete emotionally, not logically? The coin market rewards preparation. It rewards those who act before the crowd. And the 1970 Lincoln cent continues to attract attention because collectors love transitional era coins from the early 1970s. They love mint mark varieties. They love authenticated errors. So here is your call to action. Tonight, open the drawer. Open the jar. Look at your change with new eyes. Search for that 1970 mint mark. Check the lettering. Check the surfaces. Check for doubling or unusual characteristics. If you find something promising, do not rush. Protect it. Research it. Consider professional grading. Position it in the marketplace strategically. Bills are on the counter. Retirement is on your mind. And then you notice a single penny. A 1971 Lincoln cent. No mint mark. Just a simple coin most people would ignore. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking piece of copper could be the key to unlocking serious money? What if the next life-changing discovery isn't buried treasure, but hiding in your pocket change right now? Today we're diving deep into the 1971 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin struck under the authority of the United States Mint and featuring the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln as designed by Victor David Brenner. This isn't just a coin. It's a potential opportunity. And for those of you between 30 and 65, who are thinking about financial security, side income, or even building generational wealth, this could be your wake-up call. Act 1 begins with awareness. In 1971, millions of Lincoln cents were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not use a mint mark. That's why you'll see 1971 pennies without a D or S. Now here's where people get confused. Not every 1971 no mint mark penny is rare. But certain era varieties from that year are in extremely high demand among collectors. And demand is where the money is made. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really examined your change? When was the last time you looked at a penny under magnification? Could you be holding a double die error and not even know it? Could you have a rare off-center strike sitting in a drawer while someone else is paying thousands at auction for the same kind of coin? The 1971 double die obverse is one of the most talked about varieties of that era. Strong doubling in the words liberty or in God we trust can dramatically increase value. A dramatic off-center strike, a broad strike, or a coin struck on the wrong planchet can send collectors into a frenzy. These are not myths. These are documented auction realities. High-grade examples certified by PCGS or NGC have reached impressive numbers in the marketplace, especially when the coin remains in brilliant red condition. Now here's the emotional trigger. Most people will never look. Most people will never check. And because of that, they will never know. Fear of missing out is real. How would you feel if you discovered later that you once had a valuable error coin but spent it on a cup of coffee? That sting doesn't fade easily. But the excitement of discovering one? That's electric. Let's shift into Act 2, the confrontation. You've identified a 1971 no mint mark Lincoln cent. It looks unusual. Maybe the letters appear doubled. Maybe the strike seems off. Now what? This is where strategy separates dreamers from earners. How do you sell old rare coins? How do you sell coins in the United States the right way? How do you make money from coins instead of leaving money on the table? First, authentication is power. Serious buyers and auction houses demand third-party grading. When a coin is authenticated and graded, it gains credibility. And credibility brings competitive bidding. Have you ever watched a live coin auction? The tension, the rapid-fire bids, the adrenaline as collectors compete. That's where ordinary pocket change can transform into serious profit. You might be wondering, where do I sell old and rare coins in the USA and what is its value in an auction shop? The truth is, high-demand era coins are often sold through reputable auction houses, major coin shows, or established online platforms where collectors gather. The key is visibility and trust. A certified 1971 no-mint mark error in high grade doesn't sit unsold for long. It attracts attention. It creates urgency. And urgency drives price upward. Let's interrupt this for a second with a quick reality check. If pennies were worthless, would professional collectors spend thousands of dollars chasing the right one? Of course not. So why are so many people still ignoring them? Sometimes the smallest denomination carries the biggest surprise. It's almost humorous, isn't it? A single cent potentially outpacing traditional investments in percentage returns, from pocket change to millions sounds dramatic. But every serious coin portfolio started with one discovery. One decision to learn. One decision to look closer. Could your journey begin with a 1971 no-mint mark penny? Could this be the coin that pushes you into the world of smart collecting and strategic selling? Now we move into Act 3, the resolution. Imagine you've done your homework. Your coin is authenticated. It's a confirmed error. It's in exceptional condition. Bidding begins. Collectors recognize its rarity. The competition heats up. The final hammer price exceeds your expectations. That single cent becomes a powerful reminder that opportunity rewards those who pay attention. The current market for standout 1971 no-mint mark error pennies in top condition can reach thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error and the grade. And the maximum auction results for elite specimens in pristine red uncirculated condition have stunned sellers. These are the coins that ignite headlines in numismatic circles. These are the coins that prove value is not about face value, but about rarity, condition, and demand. So let me ask you directly. How many jars of coins do you have at home? How many inherited collections are sitting untouched? How many times have you asked yourself how to make money from coins but never taken the first step? What if your next financial breakthrough isn't a lottery ticket, but a magnifying glass? There is urgency here. As more people learn about valuable errors, competition increases. The earlier you act, the better your positioning. The coin market rewards knowledge and timing. And right now, interest in rare Lincoln cents remains strong among American collectors who understand the power of scarce varieties. This isn't about fantasy. It's about awareness, education, and decisive action. It's about transforming overlooked metal into meaningful money. It's about taking control instead of leaving opportunity to chance. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln cent stands as proof that value often hides in plain sight. Before you dismiss the pennies in your drawer tonight, pause. Examine them. Ask yourself the questions that most people never ask. Could this be rare? Could this be an error? Could this be my entry point into a profitable hobby? Could this be the beginning of turning pocket change into something extraordinary? Because sometimes wealth doesn't announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it whispers from the bottom of a coin jar. And those who listen closely are the ones who rise. But one of them could be the key to a hidden opportunity. What if I told you that a simple Lincoln cent dated 1978, with no mint mark, might hold a story that serious collectors are willing to pay strong money for? Would you check your pockets a little more carefully tonight? This isn't about fantasy. This is about awareness. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on cents at that time. That means millions were made. But here's the twist. Not all 1978 pennies are equal. In the world of coin collecting, tiny differences create massive opportunity. Errors. Exceptional condition. Rare varieties. These are the details that turn pocket change into powerful assets. Act 1 begins with possibility. In 1978, America was experiencing change. Inflation, economic shifts, and evolving industry. The humble Lincoln cent continued its legacy that began in 1909. Designed with the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, this coin may look common at first glance. But collectors don't just see a penny. They see grade, luster, strike quality, and error potential. They see scarcity within abundance. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really examined a 1978 penny under magnification? Did you look for doubling in the letters? Did you check for off-center strikes? Did you inspect the rim for broad strikes or die cracks? Because here's where excitement builds. Certain 1978 no-mint marked Lincoln cents with dramatic mint errors have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. And pristine examples graded at the highest levels can command impressive premiums in competitive auctions. Now pause for a second. I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. That's exactly what thousands of people said before rare coins funded vacations, paid off mortgages, and transformed collections into wealth. Funny how the smallest denomination in American currency can carry the biggest surprise, isn't it? Act 2 is about discovery and urgency. Most circulated 1978 pennies are worth face value. But uncirculated examples with blazing red surfaces, sharp details, and nowhere can command significantly higher prices. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or higher by respected grading services enter a different marketplace altogether. Add a visible mint error, and now you have attention. Add exceptional eye appeal, and now you have demand. Think about the psychology of collectors. They compete. They pursue the finest known examples. They upgrade. They pay premiums for condition rarity. This is where fear enters the picture. What if you've already spent one? What if it's sitting in a forgotten coin jar? What if the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is simply knowledge? Have you ever wondered how to sell old rare coins in the USA and actually receive top dollar instead of settling for less? Have you asked yourself how to make money from coins that have been sitting unnoticed for decades? Have you considered how selling coins strategically through auction houses can create bidding wars instead of quiet transactions? These questions matter because the marketplace rewards preparation. High-grade 1978 no-mint marked Lincoln cents that are flawless, sharply struck, and deeply red in color can reach their maximum potential when certified and offered in major auction venues. Auction environments create competition. Competition creates price escalation. And price escalation is what transforms an ordinary transaction into a powerful financial moment. Here's a quick reset for you. If a penny can be worth more than a fancy dinner, how many dinners might be hiding in your couch cushions right now? It sounds humorous, but it's strategic thinking. Wealth often hides in overlooked places. Act 3 is about action and transformation. You don't build wealth by ignoring opportunity. You build it by recognizing value before others do. The journey from pocket change to meaningful profit begins with education. Learn how to grade coins or consult professionals. Use magnification tools. Separate circulated coins from uncirculated ones. Protect potential high-grade examples immediately. Condition is everything. When you're ready to sell, choose your path wisely. Local coin shops offer convenience, but major auction platforms often deliver maximum exposure. Professional grading establishes authenticity and condition, increasing buyer confidence. And confidence drives bidding strength. The question isn't whether coins can make money. The question is whether you are prepared to position them correctly. Imagine turning a simple discovery into a strategic sale. Imagine telling your family that careful attention to detail created unexpected financial gain. Imagine the satisfaction of knowing that knowledge, not luck, created your success. And let's connect this full circle. In the beginning, we talked about a jar of pennies. Now we're talking about informed decisions, competitive auctions, and the thrill of recognizing hidden value. The 1978 no-mint marked Lincoln cent represents more than copper and zinc. It represents awareness. It represents the difference between overlooking and observing. So tonight, will you check your change? Will you research the value of your coins before spending them? Will you explore how to sell old and rare coins in auction shops across the United States? Will you learn how to transform coins into cash with confidence? Will you step into the marketplace prepared instead of guessing? What if I told you that the right 1979 penny could quietly be sitting in a jar in your kitchen, waiting to change your financial future? Today we're diving deep into the power, the potential, and the hidden opportunity behind the 1979 D Mint Mark Lincoln cent struck at the legendary United States Mint in Denver Mint. And if you are between 30 and 65, living in the United States, holding onto old coins and dreaming about turning pocket change into serious money, this might be the most important video you watched this year. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your loose change carefully? Not casually. Not quickly. But with intention. Because in 1979, millions of Lincoln cents were struck in Denver, but not all of them were created equal. Some carry errors. Some show rare characteristics. And some have reached impressive values in today's competitive collector market. The difference between a common coin and a sought-after treasure often comes down to details that most people overlook. Picture this. It's 1979. Inflation is rising. America is changing. And at the Denver facility, dies are striking thousands of pennies every hour. Among those coins, subtle mistakes are born. Off-center strikes. Die cracks. Double die characteristics. Weak strikes. Clipped planchets. And here's the truth that creates urgency: once collectors identify these varieties, demand surges. Supply tightens. Prices climb. The window of opportunity does not stay open forever. Now pause for a second. Be honest. How many pennies have passed through your hands in the last decade? Hundreds? Thousands? What if just one of them carried a dramatic off-center error with a clear D Mint mark in strong detail? Would you know what to do next? Would you recognize it before spending it on a cup of coffee? Here's where excitement meets strategy. A high-grade 1979 D Lincoln cent with a significant mint error, especially in uncirculated condition, can command impressive premiums in auctions and specialty coin shops. Collectors are always searching for coins with strong eye appeal, dramatic errors, and clean surfaces. The market rewards quality. It rewards rarity. And it rewards those who take action early. Let's talk about emotional reality. There are people right now selling coins they don't understand for face value. That's the fear trigger. What if you accidentally let go of something valuable? What if a rare die break or misaligned strike slipped through your fingers because you didn't look closely? The difference between knowledge and ignorance can literally be thousands of dollars over time, but here's the empowering truth. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not out of the game. The 1979 D Lincoln cent is still actively traded. Error coins from that year are still discovered. Collectors across the United States are still paying strong money for premium examples. The demand is real. Auction platforms, coin shows, and certified grading marketplaces consistently move high-quality error cents at competitive prices. Now let's shift to opportunity. How do you sell old rare coins in the USA and get maximum value in an auction shop? First, understand grading. Condition is king. A coin that looks shiny but has hidden scratches may lose value. A coin preserved in mint state with sharp detail can multiply in price. Professional grading services authenticate and encapsulate coins, which builds buyer trust and increases auction performance. How do you make money from coins consistently? You become selective. You learn what to look for. On a 1979 D Lincoln cent, examine the obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Study the date closely. Look at the mint mark under magnification. Inspect the reverse lettering and rim alignment. Dramatic off-center strikes that still show the full date are especially desirable. Strong die cracks running through key design elements attract serious attention. Broad strikes with full detail can excite advanced collectors. Now let me interrupt this with a quick reality check. If every 1979 D penny were worth thousands, we'd all be retired already, right? That's the humorous wake-up call. The power is not in the ordinary coin. The power is in the exceptional one. And exceptional coins exist because of mistakes. Mint errors are the beautiful accidents that create financial opportunity. How to sell old rare coins effectively. Start by documenting your coin clearly. Take sharp, well-lit photos. Show both sides. Highlight the error. Avoid cleaning the coin, because cleaning can reduce value dramatically. Then research recent auction results for similar certified examples. Knowledge strengthens your negotiating power. How to sell coins for the highest return. Consider reputable coin dealers, established auction houses, and large coin shows where competitive bidding can drive prices upward. When multiple collectors want the same coin, that's when you see strong realized values. Scarcity fuels urgency. Urgency fuels bidding. Bidding fuels profits, and what about turning pocket change into millions? Let's ground that ambition with intelligent optimism. While a single 1979 D Lincoln cent error is unlikely to reach into the millions, building a focused collection of rare and certified error coins over time can create substantial cumulative value. Wealth in coins is often built through knowledge, patience, and strategic selling at the right moment in a strong market cycle. Here's a question for you. Are you sitting on jars of coins collected over decades? Have you inherited coins from parents or grandparents and never evaluated them professionally? What if one weekend of careful searching changed your financial trajectory? What if your next coin show visit introduced you to a buyer willing to pay top dollar for a rare 1979 D error you almost ignored? The market today rewards visibility. Online auctions expose your coin to national demand. Certified examples with dramatic visual errors stand out instantly. Collectors in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s are actively investing in tangible assets. Coins are historical, portable, and backed by real collector interest. Let's bring this full circle. The story begins with a simple penny. It moves through decades of circulation. It survives. It waits. And then one day, someone looks closely enough to see what others missed. That moment of awareness transforms metal into money. So ask yourself right now. Will you check your change differently tonight? Will you finally open that old coin box? Will you learn how to sell old and rare coins in the USA strategically instead of emotionally? Will you position yourself in auction environments where demand is high and competition pushes prices upward? Imagine this. You are standing in your kitchen, the morning light coming through the window, and in your hand is a simple penny. Just 1 cent, something most people toss into a jar without thinking. But what if that ordinary coin was not ordinary at all? What if that small copper disc could quietly be worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars? Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of the 2018 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, struck at the legendary United States Mint in Denver, and why certain error versions of this modern coin are creating serious excitement in the collector market right now. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly looked at the pennies in your pocket? Not glanced at them. Not dumped them into a jar. But really examined them? Because hidden among billions of coins is a design that traces its roots back to 1909, honoring one of America's most respected presidents, Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln cent has been a symbol of American resilience for over a century. And in 2018, something special happened in Denver. Now here's where it gets interesting. The 2018 D Lincoln cent was produced in massive numbers. On the surface, it seems common. Ordinary. Easy to ignore. And that is exactly why so many valuable pieces are still hiding in plain sight. Because when a coin is produced in the millions, small mistakes can slip through. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes equal money. Think about that for a second. In most industries, errors are a disaster. In coin collecting, errors are opportunity. Certain 2018 D pennies have been discovered with striking errors. Off-center strikes. Die cracks. Die chips. Even subtle doubling in design elements. These imperfections turn a 1-cent coin into a collector's prize. And collectors are not casual shoppers. They are serious buyers who scan auctions daily, who compete aggressively, who understand scarcity and demand. Here's a pattern interrupt for you. If I told you there might be money sitting under your car seat right now, would you finish this video later? Or would you pause it and go check? Exactly, the emotional trigger here is simple: fear of missing out. Because while you are watching this, other people are searching their change. Other people are listing coins online. Other people are sending coins to grading services and discovering surprising values. The market rewards action, not hesitation. Let's talk about value. A standard 2018 penny in circulated condition is worth face value 1 cent. But error coins in uncirculated or high-grade condition have sold for dramatically higher amounts depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Professionally graded examples authenticated by leading services and sold through major auction platforms have brought in impressive sums compared to their original value. The maximum dollar results always depend on condition, rarity of the specific error, and buyer demand at the time of sale. Now ask yourself this. How many coins have you already overlooked? How many pennies have passed through your hands in the last 5 years? 50. 500. 5,000. This is where excitement builds. Because unlike rare gold coins locked away in vaults, the 2018 Lincoln cent is modern. It is accessible. It is circulating. It can still be found in pocket change, bank rolls, and coin jars across America. So how do you make money from coins? How do you go from pocket change to something meaningful? It starts with awareness. It continues with knowledge. And it finishes with action. First, you must examine your coins carefully. Look for unusual features. Is the strike centered? Are the letters crisp? Do you see extra thickness in the date or motto? Is there a raised line that could indicate a die crack? Small details separate a spender from a seller. Second, condition is king. Coins with minimal wear, strong luster, and sharp detail command the strongest prices. Collectors pay premiums for quality. The difference between an average coin and a high-grade coin can mean the difference between a few dollars and a serious payday. Now let's address the questions I know are forming in your mind. How do you sell old rare coins in the USA? Where do you sell coins for maximum value? How do you avoid being underpaid? Should you go to a local coin shop, or should you choose an online auction? Can you really turn pocket change into significant money? Here is the truth. Selling coins successfully requires strategy. Local coin shops offer speed and convenience. They evaluate your coin and make an offer on the spot. Auction platforms, on the other hand, create competition. And competition drives price. When 2 or more collectors want the same rare error coin, the bidding can escalate quickly. Imagine your 2018 error penny listed online. Clear photographs. Professional grading. A detailed description. Collectors watching. Bidding climbing. Notifications lighting up. That simple coin becomes a focal point of demand, but urgency matters. The coin market moves with trends. Attention shifts. New discoveries emerge. Acting now while interest in modern era coins remains strong increases your chances of capturing top value. Let's connect this to the bigger picture. Many of you watching are between 30 and 65 years old. You understand hard work. You understand the value of a dollar. You are not chasing fantasies. You are looking for smart opportunities. And coin collecting is not gambling. It is informed positioning. There is something deeply empowering about finding value where others see nothing. It changes your mindset. It sharpens your eye. It makes every transaction an opportunity. Every handful of change becomes a treasure hunt. Here is another question for you. What if the next coin you examine funds a vacation? What if it pays off a bill? What if it becomes the spark that pushes you deeper into the world of numismatics, building a side income that grows over time? The 2018 Lincoln cent is not just a coin. It is a reminder that opportunity often hides in ordinary places. The people who benefit are not necessarily the luckiest. They are the most attentive. So how do you sell old and rare coins in auction shops? Preparation is everything. Have your coin authenticated if you believe it has a significant error. Research recent sales of similar coins. Present it professionally. High-quality images, accurate descriptions, and timing your listing strategically can dramatically influence the final hammer price, and remember this. Wealth rarely arrives in dramatic fashion. It accumulates through small advantages multiplied over time. Today it is a 2018 D-era penny. Tomorrow it might be another overlooked coin. Piece by piece, knowledge compounds. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is unknowingly spending a valuable error coin at a gas station. Somewhere else, someone is discovering one and listing it for sale. Which person do you want to be?